What's up, guys? Welcome to this video on Elvis is the Man. So this video here goes along with the last video I posted. It's from 1975. Elvis is at the Memphian. This crazy lady somehow gets in. Well, you'll see what happens. There's some highs and lows to this. It ends off on a high. So those of you who don't really like some of the more sad type videos or sad instances in Elvis's life, you know, stick around for the end of this and you'll like it. But this is definitely an interesting one. All right, guys, so here's the story. So it's about summertime, 1975 in Memphis, Tennessee. You know, Elvis is off and he would at night rent out the Memphian, and obviously it'd have to be at night because he couldn't go during the day. So what he would do is he'd rent it out at night and get a group of his friends together. He'd have some movies in mind that he'd want to watch, and so he would go there, rent it out. They'd just have a few people in concessions there just to keep it open, and he'd pay them to stay. So on this particular night, Elvis happened to get up and he took a few of his people with him, one of them being Al Strada. And he left the movie theater and went up to the concessions, went to the bathroom, and he went up to get something to drink. When Elvis gets up into the lobby, this elderly lady starts saying some things to him that kind of catch him off guard. The lady goes and says that she hasn't been paid yet, referring to the girl working in the concessions who just happened to be, I think it was her daughter. The lady says that she hasn't been paid yet. So Elvis is kind of startled and looks at Al. He's like, is this true? Because one of the things that Elvis made sure was that everything was set, everything was in order by the time he got there. He wanted to make sure everything was paid. Well, Al looks back at him and says, yeah, Elvis, you know, we already have this handled. This lady's wrong. They had the previous days that they were there already paid, and then they receive their payment after the evening's done. That's when they get paid. Well, this lady's like, that's not right. You guys take advantage of this girl. She has no way to get up here. She has no car. It was basically assumed that this lady was just trying to get something out of Elvis, like a car, because, you know, he was known for giving away things like that. She's like, she has no car, and look at you. It wouldn't hurt you if you did some walking. You're so fat. Everybody who was there looking at Elvis saw him start to tense up. His jaw started to clench up, and he started to like bite his cheek and just start to hold back. And they were like, okay, he's getting ready to hit her. So Billy steps in and says, hey, you know, she's not worth it. Don't look at her. Who is she to tell you you're fat? And the lady chimes in and goes, well, he is fat. Look at him. Look at how he's dressed, too. Elvis, obviously hurt, tilts his head down and kind of looks at the floor and says, yes, ma'am, I suppose I am. But as far as your daughter being paid, I'll make sure she gets paid by tonight. I'm sorry she doesn't have a ride to work. They convinced Elvis there's no use in arguing with her, trying to reason with her. Let's just go. They could tell he was very hurt. By the time they got to the parking lot, Elvis just broke down crying. They said he just spread himself over the hood of the car and just started crying, broke down. He says, after we get back to the house, take this car back and give it to her. They tell him, no, don't you do that. That lady doesn't deserve it at all. And if you give this to her, she won't even respect you for it. Elvis just cried and cried. But the closer he got home, the more he actually started to think about it and get very angry. By the time they pulled up to Graceland, he was fuming. When he got in, he went straight upstairs, and everybody else followed him, and he stood up in the middle of his bed and starts ranting, cussing the lady, saying, I'll do this to her, I'll do that to her, who is she? The whole time, all the guys and girls are just kind of watching him like, wow, this was the guy who was just saying, you know, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, I'm sorry, ma'am, you're right, you know, crying. Now he's up on his bed, acting like a totally different person, like a wild stallion. The whole time, though, they notice that Elvis is like looking at himself in the mirror as he's going on this rant. He stops himself and he's like, you know what? I'm a GD handsome MFer. They all stop and just break up laughing. They just thought it was hilarious. Elvis can't stop laughing either.
Well.
Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed that story. If you have, hit the like button. It helps it grow and expand the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Tell me in the comments what you guys think about this little incident at the Memphian in 1975. Comment down below.